Well, the state of Oregon is suing federal agencies, accusing them of violating protesters' civil rights and, quote, unlawful detentions in Oregon. Do they have a case? Let's ask Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Good to see you, Judge. Thanks for joining us. So what is your verdict?
Well, the federal government cannot put troops or military personnel or police on the streets without the invitation of the governor or the legislature of the state. That's not only federal law, that's in the Constitution. And as horrific as it is for people who believe in the sanctity of the person and of private property to watch this destruction, there's very little that the feds can do about it. The Supreme Court has made it clear, as your last guest, former police officer that he is, Mr. Marino, said, that health and safety is exclusively the province of the locals. Now, here you have locals who look to Antifa and Antifa's supporters for political support.
Yes.
So the local authorities, Mayor Wheeler, is not going to let the police do what they want to do. So you have a vice here. You have anarchy on one hand, and then if the troops come in the street, you have a potential for even more violence on the other hand. What happened in Portland over the weekend, David, was not only unlawful and unconstitutional, it was just plain wrong. Sending armed, untrained police into the streets wearing fatigues without the knowledge or consent of the local police actually caused more violence. All the people that they arrested, David, they didn't file one criminal complaint against anybody because they didn't have a basis to do so. They were just grabbing innocents off the streets.
You know, the House Democrats are asking now the Inspector General's office to investigate the use of these federal officers to keep things under control there, because a lot of innocent people, not to mention business properties, individuals, private properties being disturbed, if not destroyed, by all these actions. Here's what the Democrats say. They say that they are trying to object to the use of force against Americans exercising their right to peaceful assembly. Well, as we've pointed out quite clearly with our video, this was anything but a peaceful assembly. We do have the right to a peaceful assembly, but what happens when that is violated by the demonstrators themselves when they become violent?
And to make matters worse, when you have police whose hands are tied behind their back because the elected public officials whom the Supreme Court says control the police don't control the elected officials control them, don't want to do anything about it. You have a lot of peaceful demonstrators. The complaint filed by the Attorney General of Oregon against the Department of Homeland Security recounts horror stories of peaceful people being kidnapped, held blindfold, handcuffed, and incommunicado for just 2 hours, and then let go. There's no reason to disturb those people. The people they should stop are the ones with the baseball bats.
Well, clearly they are trying to stop the people with the baseball bats as well. We've seen that. We've seen their attempts to do that, exactly that. And we've also seen quite clearly the damage and destruction wrought on these two cities by very violent militiamen of the far left.
So the federal government can't do what it doesn't have the authority to do, and it shouldn't do anything without the coordination of the locals. And if the mayor, for whatever sound or perverse reason he may have, does not want the feds in his streets, and if the governor doesn't ask for them or the legislature doesn't ask for them, this is Madison, David, this is the Constitution, then they can't go there. It's plain and simple as that. And if the people are suffering, they have to elect a new mayor.
It's extraordinary that somebody would put their political fortunes ahead of the safety of their own citizens that have elected them to office. Judge, thank you very much.
Indeed it is.
Appreciate you seeing you. Appreciate you being on.